Hello, and welcome to another episode of This Freakin' Show, the weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. Our regular host, Travis D, is going to be late, so I am Geekcast Joe, and with me, as always,
Awkward Colin.
And normally, this is the part of the show where we tell you that if you want a fantastic sandwich and a beer for only $7.99, you should head on down to Peotone and hit up the Firepit Bar and Grill, where you can go on Mondays and Wednesdays and get yourself a burger and a beer for the low, low price of $7.99. And while you're at it, we usually tell you that you could wear yourself a nice, high-quality knit tie from wearedapperties.com. And if you use the special discount code Freakin, you'll even get free shipping on your order. That's wearedapperties.com. Get yourself a sweet tie for a low, low price today.
Very good, very good.
All the formalities are out of the way now.
Yep. So how's it going, Joe?
It's good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. A little tired, but that's Sundays are the day I work.
Oh, yeah.
As a pastor, so it's sort of the opposite of everyone else.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a little different today. Like Joe stated, our main host, Travis D, is currently not here. He will be joining us later. He ran into some unexpected event.
Well, if we were on the other show, if on my other show, we'd say he was at a Riff Raff concert.
Well, he can be at a Riff Raff concert for us. But yeah, so it's been a good week.
Good deal. The Oscars are tonight,
yeah,
so we'll see
Oscars
who wins this year's challenge.
Yeah.
So sounds like you've got
I got
a pretty
4
solid.
right now.
Yeah.
And they just announced the foreign language film, and I think you actually won it on that one.
Nice.
I believe you chose A Fantastic Woman, right?
It sounds like something I'd choose.
Yeah, and that's what just won. So
excellent.
But anywho, we have a guest lined up for tonight. He is from a Amazon series called Comics Watching Comics. The name is Kevin Guti.
Hey, Kevin Guti. I'm not sure. When you watch it, he says Kevin Goatee, I think.
Okay.
But his Skype name is weird, and I just don't know.
Yeah.
So, but I tell you, so basically, if you've never seen the show, it's sort of like a mix of riff tracks and American Idol, but for comedians.
Okay.
So basically, they tape an event of not beginner comics, like intermediate comics, and they critique them while they watch the taping or whatever it is.
Okay.
And then they sort of basically make them compete so that, from week to week, there's people who are going on and learning how to be better comedians, and there's people who are being taken out of the running and are just basically shit on by these guys.
Okay.
That's actually how they say it. I'm not just, being vulgar to be vulgar. But yeah, so it seems like it's good fun. I think the main goal for them is to help people get their feet under them in an industry that's got a lot of people who try and a lot more who fail.
Well, that's the kind of stuff that happens.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. So it could be a pretty brutal thing, stand-up comedy.
Oh yeah.
So, especially when you consider how depressed most comedians are, because that's where the funny comes from.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes you got to find funny and depressing things.
Oh, absolutely. And that's like my favorite comedians of all time are, like Robin Williams and Patton Oswalt. And they're both, well, obviously Robin Williams is gone. And in the end, depression is what got him, and
oh yeah.
same Oswald too. His wife died in the last year, and one of the best specials he's ever done, I think, came out of that. So, there's something. I don't think it's necessary to be a tortured artist to be a comedian, but I think there's something about sort of laughing into the abyss that makes life easier for everybody, and that's sort of the job of the comedian for me, is to find what's hilarious in the midst of what's awful.
Yeah.
And if you can make some social commentary in there while you're at it, even better.
So. Oh.
Absolutely. So, is our guest ready to come on?
Let's find out.
Excellent.
We'll take a brief pause and get our guest on.
Perfect.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jason.
And I'm Jeff. We're from the History of Bad Ideas podcast.
You know what you're listening to right now, Jeff?
What are we listening to right now?
This freaking show.
This freaking show?
This freaking show. And when you're not listening to this freaking show, take a listen to the History of Bad Ideas.
Where we talk about sports,
movies,
and other pop culture events happening
in the world. So take a listen. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, and any other place that you find great podcasts like This Freaking Show.
This freaking show.
And we're back with Kevin Goatee from Comics Watching Comics. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you, gentlemen. How are you tonight?
Doing good.
Breathing. So,
yeah.
Better than not breathing. How are you doing, sir?
Just taking a day to breathe, running around like a crazy man. So, but yeah, it's other than that, pretty good. The kid just went to bed, so we're all well. It's actually, my wife went to London today for work for 5 days, and this is gonna be the first time I'm gonna be the sole parent for more than a night or two. So This is gonna be fun.
Big responsibilities.
Yeah,
oh my God, you're not even kidding.
What kind of plans do you have to become just to seal the deal as the favorite parent?
I've already given her ice cream. We jumped on the bed together. How's that sound?
Excellent. Excellent. Fantastic. Well, you're the host of Comics Watching Comics.
I am.
Can you tell our listeners a little bit about what that show is and how that works?
I would be happy to. It's a show, think Last Comic Standing and At Midnight, and They Had a Baby. That's my show. And what it is I take 50 intermediate comics, cut it in half, and that's so 25 comics per season. I take like I said, the 50 comics. I take 25 comics. I show the footage I take the footage back to my house. We tape the comics at a club. In fact, we just did it yesterday for season 7 and 8. But we take the footage to my house. Yeah, it did. It was really fun, really cool. But yeah, so we take the footage back to my house, and I have panelists who are established, tenured comics who've got some credits and credibility under their belt. We watch the footage, we critique, we praise, we offer advice. And if they're, should it be the case that they're really awful, we shit on them if they're that bad, if they're really awful.
Right.
But at the end of every season, we pick a winner, and the winner performs at a showcase. We did that at Gotham Comedy Club in the city back in November. And the twist is this: the home audience plays along. They pick their favorite panelists that they want to see come back to the following episode. And actually, that's what is going to be for this next panel. Is that we're doing the all-star panel where we're having guys, panelists who were voted by the comics their favorite. So that's going to be season 7 of the show. But right now we have 5 seasons on Amazon. The 6th should be up in the next week or so. So check that out. But that's a show in a nutshell.
That is legit.
Thank you.
So basically, so as I understand, I haven't watched a lot of your show, I have to confess. But so you're telling me the people who are sort of judging and critiquing change from week to week?
They do, yes.
Or from season to season?
Exactly, every week, with the exception of the master panelist, which is Jeffrey Gurian. If you Google him, first of all, I'm sure you don't know who that is, but if you Google him, you're going to see all the really fantastic comedians he's worked with in his lifetime. He's written for Rodney Dangerfield, Joan Rivers, Dice Clay, Ray Romano, all these guys he's written for. So he's a guy who what his role is as master panelist is when myself and the other panelists vote on their favorite comic, he gives us a thumbs up or a thumbs down on our decision of that comic.
Oh, fantastic. He's like the golden button.
What show is that?
That's a good question. What show is that? America's Got Talent, I think?
Oh, yeah. Stern kind of had that. Well, yeah, because I used to watch when Stern was on. But yeah, it's kind of, I don't know about that. I think the golden buzzer was something that they gave to just give them that free pass. But yeah, Jeffrey, you know, he just sits there cracks wise and he either agrees or disagrees with our decision of the comic. And so far, let me see, 1, 2, 3. We're 3 for 3 in his opinion when it comes to choosing a winning comedian.
Oh, excellent. That's good when you agree with your expert.
It's good when he agrees with us. What are you kidding me?
Whichever order.
Sure.
So how does one become an established comedian to be able to be on your show? Because I honestly I didn't recognize anybody as I was watching things. Because obviously as a lay person, I only know like the really big guys, you know.
Right. Well, those really big guys cost a really high amount of money. So
right.
Until I started getting some crazy money from Amazon, because I finance this myself. Amazon doesn't invest anything into it. They just pay me for reviews and such. I'm just appeasing to the good graces of people that I know around from the scene in New York who have done a lot of things. And there are a lot of guys on this panel that you're going to hear from really quickly, like Jimmy Failure. He's on season 1 of the show. He's on Fox News right now. I mean, I don't know if your political aspirations lean one way or the other, but you have to admit that a guy writing dick jokes is now on Fox News is kind of cool. We have a lot of comics who've been touring the nation, who've been touring USO tours. Sean Lynch actually is a name you may know. Sean Lynch, season 4 panelist, created Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like I was going to say, I guarantee you guys know that one. That's for sure. So, yeah, I mean, these guys are up and coming. And I got a guy, hopefully, I'm going to find out tomorrow, literally, if he's going to accept being on the next panel. And this name, I promise you guys know. So cross your fingers. We may have ourselves a really big name in the very near future of this show.
That is fantastic.
Nice.
That's exciting. Well, and obviously they're very funny people, no matter who you're getting.
Thank you.
And so how does their feedback get back to the comedians who they're sort of judging?
Oh, they watch. So what we do is, again, we take the comedians and we stitch it in there with their stand-up, like throughout.
Right.
When we watch it, we pause, we make jokes, comments, observations, or let her rip, and then it's back. So when the episode airs, I mean, they see what's said.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, fantastic then.
Cool.
Yeah. How did this idea come about? Was it just a passion project out of nowhere, or did Amazon approach you?
No, I had this idea a few years ago where one day I was singing an open mic, and it was just an awful batch of comics that day. Everyone was going home and just eating shit. And I started texting a friend of mine. They're just, busting the balls and back and forth. And I'm like, well, this is funny, but it just can't be ball busting. Because first of all, that's just douchey.
Right.
And second of all, no one would ever want to be on the show. So I said, you know what? Let's try where we give intermediate comics a fair chance. Because here in the city, there are thousands of comics. Does everyone deserve a chance? No, because they're not good. But there are a lot of people who aren't getting that exposure who do deserve it. And that's what the show is getting them their exposure. That would be kind of cool. So that's where it came from. I said, all right, because I felt Last Comic Standing is kind of just, it's boring. I'll be honest with you. It's just there's no one who was really honest, I felt, in their assessments. I think with the exception of Norm Macdonald. Like, he was flat out saying, like, you're not good and here's why. Like, I think other guys were just sugarcoating it, and I don't want to do that. I wanted to have like real feedback, and another way for the show to be viewed is people, the regular people, the you guys, the people who are not in comedy, put it like that. Like, I'm pulling back the curtain and showing you how comics kind of watch comedy, kind of diagram it out, how he creating a joke, kind of like what when you watch football and they break down a nickel defense or a dime defense, how they break down offensive pass protection and shit like that. that's what I'm doing, is really kind of pulling the curtain back and letting you guys in on how our inner workings as comedians.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. So as I was watching, I watched a little bit of the first episode in prep for this, and so I noticed that a lot even sort of when you guys are shitting on people, you're doing it in a sort of loving kind of way. And I really appreciate that, because it's an opportunity for them to get better if they're willing to admit that you guys are right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I try and go down the middle when it comes to that part. I mean, obviously it's not the sole focus of the show. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people say we're too nice. Some people say we're too mean. So I would say that I'm pretty sure I've got it down the middle. But yeah, it's actually funny. I think one of these days, if I have the time, which, I mean, I've got other shows here too. So time is really something I don't have much of. But I would like, in a perfect world, I would love to be able to show everybody all the meanest shit that was said, but just not show the comics that we were talking about, so you can, see what, that was really fun. There's some mean, fantastic shit in there that you would laugh at, and I think you'd laugh harder at it if you didn't see the comics we were talking about. I think that'd be great.
I think that would be hilarious, and I think that'd be excellent, like bonus content or something.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But it's funny when I'm sitting there when we're doing the taping, and actually we're doing the panel, the All-Star version in like I said, in 2 weeks actually from today, and I'm sitting there and we're all just fucking laughing our balls off, tears coming down our face, and guys gonna have have these guys and girls have these great lines, and I'm like, well, can't use that one, can't use that one, can't use that. All right, I'm using that one. Fuck that, that one's great. When it comes to some of the mean shit there. But yeah, no, it's a challenge, but it's fun. It really is.
Yeah, that's awesome. So who are some of your inspirations for getting into this game? The comedy game, I should say.
Sure. I mean, I watched Eddie Murphy Raw, I don't know how many times, and I was like, Jesus Christ. I mean, he's so seamless when he did that. So, I mean, he was one of them for sure. My favorite comic is Dave Attell. He's 1A. Rodney Dangerfield is 1B. Those are the two greatest. I mean, I like Tosh and Burr's great, and of course Chris Rock. I would say those are a handful of my favorites right then and there.
Gotcha, fantastic. Well, I kind of see that. I can hear Tosh a little bit in the way that you kind of host the show.
Yeah,
kind of your cadence.
I definitely have that douchey, arrogantness about me sometimes. I completely agree.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Travis, you're with us now.
Yeah, I made it.
There he is.
Good.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realize family outings take all day. So what I miss?
We talked about you for 30 minutes so far, and a lot of filthy racial slurs were used. It was funny.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
That's funny.
So,
no, we were just talking about my show. The boys were asking me about my show and inspirations and such. And I was giving a breakdown of the show and who my inspirations in comedy are, which, like I said, were Tosh and Eddie Murphy. And as I said, my favorite is Dave Attell, and Rodney Dangerfield is a very, very close second.
Okay. Well, and Rodney Dangerfield is just he's on a whole other level.
I mean, I was listening to one of his old albums not long ago, and I was just like, Jesus, like 50 years later, I'm still just goofing about one of the other lines, he goes, hey, the only reason I get women is because of who I am, a rapist. And I'm like, fucking wrong it. Another one was like, hey, honey, how would you like 5.5 inches? Some women like it thick, And I think probably my favorite piece of crowd work ever was by him, where he brings a woman on stage because she wants his tie, and he goes, hey, honey, pick a number between 1 and 10. And she's like, 7. She goes, you win. Now take off your clothes.
Yeah, there was I can't remember what it was, but like sometimes when I go on YouTube, I like Google like movie quotes and shit like that. And I can't remember what the movie was, but Rodney Dangerfield had a quote in a movie that said, hey, baby, you want to earn $3 the hard way or some shit like that.
I'm going to stop you right now. Let me you want to make $14 a hard way, and that's for my
Okay.
favorite film of all time, Caddyshack. So I must be a stickler on that one.
Is that from Caddyshack?
100 exactly. Yeah, when he's dancing with Judge Smail's wife.
Oh my god! I just watched Caddyshack maybe a month ago, and I don't know how that slipped my mind. It was from that movie.
Is that your first time seeing Caddyshack?
Maybe second. I don't watch a lot of movies. Colin's the movie guy. I don't watch a whole lot of movies. I only watch a movie when it's like recommended to me. Then I go over and watch it. But I own Caddyshack. But I bought it like years ago. Watched it once. I was like, all right, that's it. And somebody brought it up to me the other day about the gopher groundhog. And I was like, I haven't watched that movie in a while. But yeah, that scene just slipped my mind.
I actually just threw up in my mouth that someone recommended it to you because of the gopher. It had to be a woman who said that to you, correct?
Well, I mean, in this day and age, you can't really identify somebody by their gender anymore. So,
pretty sure you can.
But it's kind of like how you mentioned with Rodney Dangerfield and some of his acts, like back in the day. Like, it's unfortunate because you can't really make those jokes anymore, and that's what kind of sucks about comedy.
Yeah,
I disagree with you. Have you ever seen it?
Some things. I mean, some of the jokes, I don't think they would be flying as well, but. They hold up. It's just that's the one thing with comedy. People are wanting the police. In fact, I did a gig last week, and my buddy who was on the show, who got me on the show with him and a few other buddies, they sent a complaint to him, and it was your typical progressive like blowhard, like I was offended and I should have said something because I have gay friends, black friends, like that. It's just like, yeah, we're comedians. We have way more gay friends and black friends and other minorities than you do. And I guarantee you this: you're not going to be the one who's elected to speak on their behalf. And as they are comedians, they're just like, yeah, those jokes are funny. Shut the fuck up. No one cares what a random person in a crowd thinks. If you don't like it, that's fine. Just if you want to leave, cool. But to make a scene would have been a fucking horrible idea. Don't make it about. It's not about you. In your dumb opinion, it's about the show, and just let the show go on. Even if you don't like it, okay, fine, take off, whatever. But it just that drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has to voice their opinion if they're quote unquote offended. It's just it's as Adam Carolla says, it really is just jerking off into a ceiling fan, trying to see how progressive you are, and it's an exercise in futility.
Yeah, it just blows my mind out. Like people they can't just see it. I mean, like it's entertainment, It's like they're not. I mean, comedians, they're not out there to put like a person down. They're out there to get a laugh and stuff like that. And I mean, I also enjoy that there's different comics that they work a different way. Like like Jerry Seinfeld isn't the same as Daniel Tosh. Dane Cook isn't the same as Dave Chappelle and stuff like that. So I mean, like. People should have an idea before they go to a show what kind of act that comic does.
Exactly. Do your fucking homework.
Exactly. Like, I mean, I think it was last year, I went to go see Ron White. And Ron White kind of he blends between like some clean jokes and some filthy jokes and stuff like that. But when he was making a clean joke, there's this, this group of people who's enjoying it, having a good time. Then when he makes like a raunchy joke, a dirty joke, whatever, all of a sudden they kind of get offended and scoff and shit. He just got tired of it. He's like, listen, you know who I am. You know what the kind of work I fucking do. If you have a problem, just fucking leave.
Right.
And that's what it is. I mean, like, if you want clean comedy, then, go watch fucking Jerry Seinfeld or some of his old videos. I'm not sure if Jerry does so much work anymore. But
no, in fact, he cut off colleges because they got too fucking their buttholes got clenched with even Jerry Seinfeld, the squeakiest clean comedian there is. I mean, even they were crying foul. And Jerry goes, "Fuck that shit! I'm done doing colleges. It's over."
Yeah, it just that's the subject that blows my mind. It's like don't take everything personally. Just go out, enjoy the evening. If you hear something you don't like, don't scoff. Don't make a big deal about it. Just kind of just sit there. Just shut your mouth. I mean, that's the biggest thing about it.
Yeah, no one gives a shit if you're offended, really. Just be and I think what really just has done people in over that is like Facebook. It's like just because someone puts a dumb thought out there and they get like a pandering thought and they get likes, they think that their opinion actually carries weight, and then that translates into going to a comedy show and like, well, I've gotten 40 likes on making some horseshit boring platitude, and now I think I have that ability to make that in a public arena outside of Facebook, in actual real life. And then that's when people just need to realize that they just need to shut the fuck up. They need to be told that in person.
So when you're out doing your comedy shows and everything, do you get hecklers like a while? Is there like a go-to that you use when you get someone who kind of like gets opinionated during your act?
You know, honestly, I've been in for almost 8 years will be next week for me. Holy shit, time flies. I've only had like a heckle, like a really defined heckler in my life, maybe like 2 or 3 times where I've had to completely take him down. I'm too fast and I'm too loud for people to try and like jump in. It's just, I don't know if it's intimidation or just I'm talking too fucking fast. I haven't had that. I think Greg Fitzsimmons has a funny thing when he said he does on his podcast. He says, if you just repeat everything that person says in a questioning, condescending manner, they'll get the point. Like, you're just giving enough rope to hang themselves. Like, you're asking me, you stop the show for this dumb shit? Like, that's the kind of tone he says to do it in. I had it, but I'll take someone down. I don't get like indirect like that. I'll just fucking verbally just annihilate you for wasting people's time and whatnot. But again, that hasn't happened in a long time. So watch it happen fucking, next week.
I just jinxed you and shit. But one of my favorite comedians, Christopher Titus.
Yeah, I haven't listened to his stuff. I know he's been around forever. He had the show on Fox years ago. But yeah he's been forever. So he's done a great job. Yeah,
I have. I know I have 3 of his shows. I think he has 4 CDs, but I know I have at least 3 of them. And he talks about there's a bit that he does.
You just dated yourself, by the way. That's hilarious.
Well, they're. I have them on an iPod, but I don't know what I call them.
I'm just teasing, man. I'm just teasing.
Yeah, I'm 28 years old, man. 8 years ago, I couldn't legally drink, so.
Holy shit!
I know, right? So you started comedy right when I was done being a teenager. So talk about dating, right? Anyways, so he had a bit that he was talking about, like, when he gets a heckler, he says something to them, like twice, and then the third time he just kicks them out. But what he said was he could deal with hecklers. What he can't stand if somebody in the front row isn't laughing at his stuff. Is that kind of like, yeah? I mean, I was just like, when he said that, I was just kind of curious if that was something that like all comedians are like, or maybe that's just his personality. That if he does a joke and there's one person who's just sitting there, like actually like watching a movie, like not so much even they didn't laugh once at his joke and stuff like that. I mean, he later found out that she was deaf, but
I wondered.
Yeah.
Then what the fuck are you doing at a comedy show if you're deaf? Like, there's no sign language interpreter off stage, throwing around gang signs or some shit. Like, how they get all, very flamboyant with their delivery. Right. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it annoys us if you see, just like anything in life, like you want to bat 1,000. If you got if you want everyone to like you, it never happens. And if it does, you focus on the person or people that don't like you. You're like, oh, Jesus Christ. But dude, you can't please everybody. Just, yeah, I notice it. Yeah, whatever. If people are not happy or just whatever. But I don't let it take me down. Some comics it does. I just like, whatever. I'm fucking happy batting, happy batting 750 or whatever, who cares?
So tell me more about your show, like, because I was watching on Amazon Prime when I found it, and that's when I reached out to you and everything. How do you go about finding your co-hosts that you have on the show?
Most of them I know kind of sort of well. Most of them are from the city. I mean, so that's how I reach out to them. Or friends. That's how I pick the panelists or people that I know and respect and like. That's what who have done something. That's what I have on. They're just not just random comics who've got a few years. Like, these people all have something, some pretty substantial credits. Your one co-host was saying, like, I don't know any of them, but they're funny. But yeah, you're not going to know them now, but I promise you're going to know them in the future. Like I said, one guy, Sean Lynch, is our season 4 panelist. He created the show Mystery Science Theater 3000. So. But yeah, in fact, I also said too, I'm working on getting one like household name guy, and I'll find out tomorrow if I get him or not. So, but yeah, just like I said, circle back to your question, like that. I know most of these people very well and respect them and what they have done in their careers.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, because I always wanted to get out and I wanted to go to like those big, like, not I guess not big, but like those venues where you get like newer comics, or I don't want to say not as well known, but not as well known comics. like I want to see their stand up and everything, because I mean you can sit there and you can watch, you go on Netflix, go on YouTube and stuff, and you can watch like Seinfeld and Titus, Gabriel and Iglesias, stuff like that, and that's all well and good. But I mean I do enjoy more of watching the more up and coming comics, so like the ones you guys have on your show. I mean I laugh so much harder with the comics you guys were displaying on the show than I did for some of the more mainstream ones.
Yeah, I think that I believe I think a lot of things. I know a lot of these Netflix specials that people are putting out, or Comedy Central ones, without really dropping names, they're just not good. I think I think the allure of the HBO special from back in the day was like, oh my God, like a new Eddie Murphy special, holy shit, like that used to mean something. Now all these specials coming out, it doesn't, and a lot of them just really haven't been that great at all. So I could see why you're like, yeah, I'm kind of falling off the wagon with some of these main guys. And that's where the intermediate comes in. Hey, these guys are not known yet, but maybe some of these other guys who are famous, they or guys and girls, they made their bones. They're doing a lot of films. Like most of the time, your favorite band's first like 1, 2, or maybe 3 albums are fantastic. And then after that, they just start dropping by the wayside. That the quality goes down because they've made it. It's not the hunger isn't as there. Maybe they're doing other things, and I think that maybe can be said the same for some of the famous comics out there. Maybe not. I don't know. But that's just my take on it.
Yeah, well, every comedian in the world that's well known, they all started from the same place. So I mean, everything that we could view on your show is the same thing that they all went through. I mean, no one ever woke up one day. Jerry Seinfeld didn't wake up one day in his teenage years and became famous automatically.
No.
He
was the comic strip every night, busting his balls. Doing sets after sets after sets.
Yeah. He has that show on Netflix. Did you ever see that show he does? Comedians in cars, driving in cars, getting coffee.
Yeah, no, I'm not a Seinfeld guy, so I haven't seen that.
I figured everyone's a Seinfeld guy.
Not me or my brother. Other people. I know other people who also not fans. I know I'm in the minority, but there are a good amount of people who are just like, nah, don't get it.
Yeah. What about okay, and I hate referencing other TV shows to ask questions, but I guess I gotta keep doing it. The HBO show that Pete Holmes is on.
Yes.
Okay, how realistic is that compared to a career of an up and coming comic?
98, 99% on point.
Really?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Pete's the funny thing was, I mean, you've seen every episode, so if I start talking about stuff, you'll know what I'm talking about, right? You watch every episode.
Yeah.
When he got like Rachel, when he was doing warm up for Rachel Ray, that doesn't happen that fast, believe me. Like that takes forever, stuff like that. But other than that, like all that other stuff, the barking, the handing out the flyers, all that, dealing with other things, like it is 98%, 99% on point. Like they have all, and because they have all comedians writing that show. Like if you watch the producers and the writers, all of them are pretty well-known comedians. So that's the smart thing he did. And Pete's a comic himself, obviously. So he's drawing on a lot of his own experiences, but they got it right. They really got it right. So whatever you see on the show, you can just pretty much take that as gospel.
Okay. Yeah, because watching and everything, like, I mean, obviously, like, I never went through that lifestyle and everything. So I didn't know how realistic it was. So I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, could there really be like guys who are so dedicated to their craft that they spend hours on a corner handing out flyers, hoping to get 20 minutes at 3 a.m?
Yes.
I mean,
there are guys who have been in for years. I see around hanging out at bar shows just trying to get 5 minutes. 100% true.
That's, I mean, I have so much respect for people like that. I mean, like watching, I was like, I mean, all I gotta do is I gotta sit at my desk and record for an hour, hoping that people listen to it. Like, I have so much respect for the guys who bust their ass for that, because I kept thinking, like, if this is real, then these guys motivate me to do so much more. And now that I know it is like that, I mean, I feel like garbage.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at it from that way as well. That's a cool take. The other take would be like, man, you're still hanging on. If it hasn't happened now, what are you still doing? It's like some guy's been doing it forever, and you're like, might be time to hang it up, dude. But listen. no one ever gets obviously far in this business if you quit, or anything in life if you quit. That's for sure. And again, you kind of hit on it before. No one, well, I shouldn't say that, is an absolute anomaly to be noticed quickly. And sometimes if you do get that tap on the shoulder from industry, that does a lot of disservice because you're probably not going to be ready. Yeah, you might have a little bit of heat for a short period of time. I know a lot of guys who got that tap early and then fizzled, and then you go right to the bottom. And I was asking a lot of comics this when I started out, like, hey, how do I get noticed? How do I get noticed? They go, first thing you should do is stop hoping you get noticed because, you're a nice guy and all, but you're not ready. And I'm like, oh, I know what you're talking about. I'm funny. Like, yeah, you may have 5 minutes, but you know what they need? They need a lot more than 5 minutes from you if you're going to get, like, noticed for something. If you have 5 minutes, it's like, well, what else do you have? 5 minutes, that's great. Why don't you have a half an hour? Do you have a TV show? Do you have a podcast? Do you have anything else under your belt? No? All right, well, you're not going to make any money just from doing 5 minutes. Like, you need to have a lot of tools, in your drawer. You got to have a lot of a lot of bullets around you. Otherwise, you're just going to you'll get picked up and noticed for a second, then you'll go right to the bottom of the barrel, and you may not get that second chance. So that's something I was thankful to get some good advice like that, and so hopefully it is definitely a marathon and it's not a sprint. So it's funny to see some of these people who did get noticed early talk some shit, run their mouths, and then bang, fizzle out, and now they're falling all the way to the bottom, and then you're above them. And then just, it's kind of funny to see that happen sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you put in the time and work, right? I mean, then that's the biggest thing, Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it is. And it's funny. It's like you see who's doing the work and you see who's doing the talking. Yeah. Two huge differences. There are a lot of doers in this business. A good amount of talkers, but I think the doers may outnumber them by a little bit. So then you want to align yourself with doers, not talkers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now you say you've been doing this. Next week will be 8 years into it. What could you kind of explain to us your process in creating like a new bit or anything? Like, do you try to relate to like real events in your life, or is everything kind of like is it just a bit and stuff? And how hard is it to come up with something new that may have not been already done by somebody else?
Listen, everyone. What's the most common topics? Kids, like being a parent, having a kid. The key is being able to make it so original in your own. So you're going to draw on your own stories. My buddy Mark Riccadonna, also season 5 panelist, talks about how his kid diarrhea shitted up on him where it sounded like an espresso machine, and he had to get naked because his kid's diaper, everything leaked through on him, and his wife wakes up to find him naked, holding his kid naked, and just something like that. I've got stories about my kid too being, whatever. But yeah, it's just all about finding that original twist, which making it funny. How hard is it to find big bits funny? Yeah, it's sometimes. I don't know if you hear on Stern, a lot of these guys, these famous musicians say a lot of their famous songs were written in 5 minutes. Yeah, some of those bits do happen, or it just comes flying off the page and it's easy. Sometimes not. I'm trying to work on this bit about sports talk show people who call into those and make. I have the bones, but it's not funny yet. So I'm trying to figure out how the fuck I can make it funny. That's the challenge. Whereas other things would just jump right out the page. You go, oh, this is the fucking cakewalk, and blow right through it. And you're always tweaking here and there, but I got about 90% of the guts and the punchlines ready to roll on stage. But that's sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. It depends.
Yeah. So what's an average length of a set do you do currently then?
I usually am doing, I don't know. It depends on the gig. I hosted the other night. I probably did about 20 minutes combined. I would say now around, if you're doing spots in the city, they're not that long because there's more comics. When you're on the road is where you have more time to do stuff. So, but on average, I'd say between 10 and 15 minutes. I love it. I love times where I can get more. The more time you have, the better off, because that way you can spread out your wings and really soar. If you have only 5 minutes, it's like you better come fast and furious. You know, I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about, and sometimes the 5 minutes you're just like, yeah, I was barely able to scratch the surface with this crowd. So, but it depends, you know.
I got you. So, so with your show, comics, watching comics and everything, the description of the show kind of talks about how, like, you know, you guys give constructive criticism and it's honest, whether it's good or bad. You guys, you know, you tell it how it is, you know, based on their bid. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I think the description says, like, if it's shit, you'll say it's shit.
Right.
So is there moments where you find yourself holding back, or you are just being completely blunt and honest because you feel that's the best way to be with, you know, these comedians, so they know, hey, listen, this is what we feel is wrong with it. You know, hopefully you take our, you know, constructive criticism likely, or do you kind of like just like, you know, we could say it's about it, but let's not because it would be too much?
Do we hold back? Not really. I think, you know, if it's fucking straight up garbage, then we're like, all right, guns blazing, fuck this guy or fuck this girl, this is shit, and they should quit. That's rare though. If you can see they're like very delicate, like you're like, yeah, you know what, this is not good, but here's what they could do, and it really depends. I don't like when people, I hate when people lie about how much time they served in comedy. One guy who was on a few seasons ago said he was in it for, at the time, he said he was in it as long as I was, but when we watched this tape, it was like, this motherfucker, if he's in it that long, he's horrible and needs to quit, or he's lying, which I think was the case. And if you lie, it's even worse to do that, because we sniffed right through that. I mean, the panel, excuse me, have been around a while, and we'll know there are certain things you say and you do. We sniff right out how new you are. Like when I was going through the submission tapes, I have a 3-year minimum requirement. And people are like, hey, what's up? You know, they try and do it, and they'll say and do things, or I'll see their tape. I'm like, how long have you been doing comedy? Just without even saying anything. Oh, you know, like a year and a half. Like, I knew it. Nope, sorry, you're not ready yet. It's not fair to bring them in, because they're only setting themselves up for failure by coming in too new. You're better off holding off a while. The longer you hold off, the better you are, because the more obviously reps you have, the bigger the muscle you built up, you'll be better. If you come in too early, you're probably gonna eat shit. I say probably because, again, it's not a blanket statement, but I'm gonna make it a generalization.
I got you. Well, why don't you tell our listeners, you know, where they can find your show and where they can find you on social media, and if you have any upcoming shows you want to let them know about.
KevinGoatee.com, KevinGootee.com. On Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all in the same. You can find my dates there. I have to redo my calendar, actually, and that's actually just remind me about that. ComicsWatchingComics.com, Instagram, Facebook. On Twitter, it's @ComicsWatching. Seasons 1 through 5 on Amazon right now. Season 6 should be up any minute. And Jesus, what else? Yeah, if you want to buy a T-shirt, go to ComicsWatchingComics.com. See some photos there from the shows, the live shows, all that good stuff. And let's see. Oh, I have another show I do. It's on the Twitch network. The second episode should be coming up shortly. It's called License to Kill, No Odd Job, where me and 3 other comedians play James Bond on GoldenEye on Nintendo 64 while talking about topics of the day, and and pretty much just fucking with each other. Kind of like when you and your buddies get together and play video games. That's what we're doing. So,
oh, awesome.
That's what that is. It's on Twitch. And then a couple other things I got coming out down the road. I'll announce it when everything is official. But in the meantime, KevinGoatee.com. Check that out. Comics Watching Comics on Instagram, Twitter, and all that good stuff, Facebook. But more importantly on Amazon right now. Give it a whirl. I promise you'll like it. It's Last Comic Standing and Mystery Science Theater 3000. I'm sure you like definitely one of them, probably even both.
Perfect. Kevin, thank you so much for coming on. I do appreciate it. Let's plug a podcast, and we'll be right back.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
News on the march.
The year 2014. Two best friends set out on a journey to produce the best content related to all things film. In 2015, they founded a podcast to share their passions with the world. From rants, lisps, and beer to trailers, challenges, and premieres, Nick and Justin have you covered. Find the Epic Film Guys podcast at epicfilmguys.podbean.com and follow the show on Twitter. And we'll see you at the movies.
News on the march.
Yeah, so make sure you check out Kevin's show, Comics Watching Comics, on Amazon. I enjoy it, and I know you guys will too. And I'm actually, I made it, so I'm here.
Yeah,
You
welcome
did.
back.
Yeah.
That'd have been a damn good dinner.
It yeah, I mean, like, well, I mean, it wasn't horrible. I've never been a big fan. Fucking, actually, where is my fucking leftovers? I think it's still in the truck.
Super.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, we went to the German place up in Frankfurt and everything, and the whole concept was, yeah, I go to this dinner, but I got the show at 8:30. I gotta do and shit, so I gotta be back by 8. And fucking, I was sitting there talking to Ashley. I'm like, damn, our fucking food hasn't even fucking came yet, and it's a quarter to fucking 8.
And he got there at 5.
I was like, unfucking believable. And then that's how you guys fucking messaging me. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, if I could take the reins, boys, I'll be there when I get there.
I think we did for our first time doing it alone.
I think we did a passable
pretty
job.
good.
That's good. I'm proud. I'm proud of you guys. You know, I'm excited to re-listen to this, at least at the beginning part of it. Let's see how you guys did. How'd you do during the fucking sponsors? Did you nail that as well?
Yeah.
I feel like we did.
Yeah, he did.
Proud of you guys. At least I know if something happens, you guys are there.
Yep.
That's the important thing. And from now on, I won't make plans on Sunday nights.
Hey, it's all right. It happens. And you weren't
Yeah.
planning that, so.
So did you guys have time to kind of figure out what's been going on, what's been new or anything? You guys kind of already touched base on what's exciting in your lives, or?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, then we don't have to do that because there's nothing new in my life.
Well, I have something that I'm freaking on, so.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
I just want to update on your life. I don't want to know what you're freaking on yet. That's the end.
Good.
Yeah.
I didn't want to tell you.
I good because I barely listen when you talk about it anyways. Colin, why don't you do your awkward flick of the week?
Okay. Well, this week's awkward flick of the week is the new Death Wish movie. It's a remake, I believe, of a 1972 movie. 1 second, sorry. That's gonna bug me if I don't find out. So.
Oh, take your time, Colin.
Yeah,
we're not recording
1972,
anymore.
with Charles Bronson. Oh, the film was 1974. The book was 1972. Yeah, Death Wish. It's a remake with Bruce Willis. Basically, it's a movie. Guy's a doctor. Loses his wife, almost loses his daughter, and says, fuck this, the cops aren't doing their job, and wants to take the shit into his own hands. A really good movie. I definitely give it high praises. It's definitely one that I would say to go see. Me and my girlfriend went and saw it, and there's actually, I do have to warn you, there are some graphic parts in it, so if you do not like the graphic scenes, you can almost tell when they're going to be, so should just turn away. That's what she did. But if you don't mind it, more power to you. I'm one that doesn't bother me. But definitely it caught me off guard. I got to say that. I wasn't expecting that direct to see that, but very good. One thing that I thought there was a character in it that didn't really have much purpose. Don't know why he was in there. Could do, in my opinion, could do without. But even with him in there, very great, very good movie. Hardcore, go get 'em, justice movie. So, and the sad thing is, if you do tend to look at Rotten Tomatoes, I know I like kind of just seeing what so-called critics say and then the audience say, and what their opinions are. And right now, the critics say this is a horrible movie, and I think they're just all a bunch of fucking morons because they're dumbasses. Because then if you look at the audience, they're saying it's a great movie. So,
Interesting.
It really just shows how different things are. And I think it has to do a lot with what's currently happened in society with their views. And they just kind of don't want to be, oh yeah, I'm going to praise this movie because of this. They just want to have a negative effect or a negative viewpoint for current events. So that's my thought on the reasoning behind that. But this is one that I would say, if you get a chance to see it in theaters, go see it in theaters. Like I said, there are some gruesome parts in it. Not too many, but it can make you cringe a little. So this week I'm going to give this movie a low 5 out of 5. Like I said, there was the one thing that bugged me. So yeah, very high rated movie, I thought, for this. I also got my girlfriend's opinion. She would rate it 5 out of 5 as well. So
Nice.
and the surprising thing is she isn't a big movie person, or that type of movie, I should say. So, but she highly enjoyed it, and I think all of you guys will too. If you don't, try and put it with current events. It's a movie. It's fake. Deal with it. So.
Deal with it.
So, but yeah, that is this awkward flicks for the week.
Nice, Colin.
Yeah,
I like that. Kind of on a personal note, I got a snap from your girlfriend. I saw you made breakfast and turned pancakes into a smiley face.
I did, and hash browns and sausage.
It was adorable.
Nice.
I do that a lot with food.
She didn't like my joke about when I was like, what's the syrup all over the face representing? Yeah. She didn't like that. She didn't like it so much she threw like 4 P's into it, which I was kind of confused because normally people extend the O's for like a stop. Instead she went with stop. So. But awesome. No, good review, Colin.
Yeah.
I like it. And that's the biggest thing I noticed too. Like a lot of the good movies that like we seem to enjoy, as I will group us together, they always get negative reviews by fucking critics.
That's pretty accurate, I'd say.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, so next week, I think we'll squeeze in our results for the Oscars that are happening tonight.
Sounds good.
So we'll do that, and then we got a guest next week, I believe, as well. But before we get to next week, Colin, what are you freaking on this week?
This week I'm freaking on Best Buy. I don't like talking bad about Best Buy, but fuck Best Buy.
Fuck Best Buy.
Bunch of stupid ass fucks.
Criminals.
Yeah. So I went and saw a movie today. Weird but good movie, Annihilation. It's Natalie Portman's new movie.
Mhm.
And I like, you know what? I'm down here. Gotta do my my Best Buy stop. It's my favorite store.
Yeah.
There is. And had to go to found 3 billboards. um 3 billboards that I bought, and then when I was checking out, motherfucker, well, not even him, he's fine, he's a good guy, I've dealt with him before. He goes, yeah, you have a $60 certificate for the to use. I'm like, no, I'm good. He goes, okay, just letting you know, expires by May 5th. I'm just like, what do you mean it expires? I'm banking my points.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, he goes, this says it has an expiration date. I'm just like, that doesn't sound right. He goes, okay, well, I just want to let you know. And then he's like, I'm going to get you the number because you seem upset about this. Then you can call them and talk to them about it. So I called them up. I'm like, yeah, I have a question. I'm wanting to know why my banked reward points have been redeemed without my consent into a certificate. They go, oh, because you're no longer a top tier member. So you're no longer allowed to bank points, so it automatically gets redeemed.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, are you fucking shitting me right now? He goes, yep, nothing we can do about it. I'm like, you people are, oh.
How did you stop being a top tier?
Because I didn't spend $3,500 in a calendar year.
Oh, fuck them.
Oh yeah, that's a big royal fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
And that pisses me off. And like I was telling my cousin, I would not have been so pissed about it if they gave me notification for it.
Right.
Because last year I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to keep my benefits because I haven't spent the amount of money in the given year. It's not 3,500. 3,500 is for the top tier, for the elite premium member. Elite member is like $1,500.
Right.
So I was just like, oh, I don't know if come the new year I'm going to have this. Well, guess what? The new year came, and I went on bestbuy.com, and for the past 2 months, it has said, you are an elite premium member until 2019.
Huh.
Yep. Called them today. Well, no, that's not the case. It ended March 1st.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So I am very unhappy with Best Buy. They can shove it up their ass right now. And you know what? No wonder they're fucking failing company and they're going to go out of business because they pull stupid shit like this.
Yep.
They're closing all their mobile stores because they're a piece of shit. So, I mean, the decency, fucking let the person know at least.
Right.
So, but in the end, the $60, then you can't use your certificates on gift cards. Well, on Best Buy gift cards, you only use them on like other stores, like TGI Fridays or something.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So luckily, what I did today, I got with my cousin. He was gonna be buying a aim controller for PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, I got him. I bought him the controller with my certificate, and he just bought me a $60 gift card. So then it worked out.
Nice.
Because I've been saving the points for a reason.
Right.
So
that sucks.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm freaking on. Joe, how about you?
I hadn't answered, and then it went out of my head because I was with you. Oh, I remember now. My wife and I, we just changed our wireless service.
Nice.
So we're now with Google Fi instead of Amazon, or not Amazon, Verizon.
Oh, nice.
Because we could save anywhere between $50 and $100 a month on mobile service.
Okay.
Cool.
And it's just as good as Verizon, only they don't charge you for shit you don't use. But along with that, I'm now officially an Android user.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because Google won't let you use Apple phones on its what's the word I'm looking for, on its service. So we both now have the Pixel 2.
Oh wow. Now Google won't or Apple won't?
Google won't. Google wants to push Google's products.
Oh, then that makes full sense.
So on their network, you can only use
Android phones?
Google Pixel 2, or Android phones. But I think the Moto X4 is the other one.
Okay. Oh yeah, it looks specifically Google phones and the Moto X4.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I think Google owns Motorola now. I could be wrong.
Verizon owns it, I believe.
Oh, Verizon does? Oh, okay. Yeah. Never mind then. But yeah, so for the past couple of days, we've been getting used to these, and it's different, but it's not bad.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see if it saves us money, then it'll be totally worth it. If it doesn't save us money, then the nice thing is that they there's no real contract to it. You can leave whenever you want. So
yeah.
But yeah,
nice.
So Google Fi, check it out. It's hopefully it's a worthwhile thing. Travis, how about you? What are you freaking on this week?
So I mentioned it several times how I'm on this weight loss journey and trying to lose weight, get healthier and everything. Thursday was the first time in 5 years where I finally under 400 pounds.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job, Travis.
Yeah.
Did you get down to your goal was 398 by Thursday, right?
The goal for the wedding was to be under 400 pounds, which unfortunately I didn't make. I was at 403 the time of the wedding. But the end of the month on February 28th, because like my goal is 20 pounds a month every month, and I exceeded that in January, but for some reason February was just kind of a lag month. I actually missed my goal for the month by 2 pounds.
Oh, bummer.
It's not. Yeah, so it's just like right now, like the goal for March is 22. But the thing is, and I mentioned it in my I wish there was a different word other than blog, but in the blog I put on WordPress. If you guys want to go read my journey, you just go to wordpress.com/thisfreakinjourney. I talk about how like no matter what, if I don't make the 20 pounds, it is what it is. But I still consider it a win if I lose weight.
Yeah.
If I would love to hit the 20 pounds a month, but if I still hit 15, if I still hit 18, I'm going to take it as a victory. I'm going to take it as a win. And what's awesome about doing this blog every on fucking WordPress is I get people who constantly badger me about where's your new post, where's your new post, where's your new post. I didn't think people really cared, but I went to the stats and everything, and apparently people do fucking care. I mean, people actually read it and everything. And every time I post on Facebook, I get comments from people about, like, hey, keep going, good job, you got this. There's people who feel like, what I'm doing is inspiring them to, which is an incredible thing. I weighed myself on Thursday. I was 398.6. And the thing that sucks is like I weighed myself. I forgot to take the fucking picture. I got in the shower, got cleaned up, and I was like, okay, well, let me take a picture real quick so I can show everyone. And it went from 398.6 to 399.4. And I'm like, damn you. But it was still under the 400 pounds, which I'm so cool with.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the first time I stepped on a scale in 5 years where it didn't start with a 4. I'm good with that.
Nice.
So it's just I
Good
mean
job.
that's the biggest thing I've been freaking. I was just trying to keep that consistent. Now, I haven't weighed myself since. I could have went back over 400 and stuff like that. It's very possible, but I'm not gonna weigh myself again until tomorrow morning, anyways, and I'll kind of see where I'm going from there. Talking with Sherry, talking with my mom. You know, we're gonna start doing workouts and stuff together too, because I'm gonna start adding working out into my dieting. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully by next week, I'll have a better update with less weight, and the overall goal is to hit at least 380 by April 1st. So we'll see if we make that.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, Joe.
Yes.
Every week, our listeners could catch Geekcast Joe here on this freaking show, and occasionally, once in a while, even hosting the show. But if 1 hour a week Geekcast Show just isn't enough for our listeners over here on this freaking show, where can we send the freaks to go find Geekcast Joe?
If you need more Geekcast Joe, you can find me over the Geekcast Live podcast at gcl.ninja. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Google Play, and Twitter by searching Geekcast Live.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want to thank Kevin Gauthier again for taking the time out to come on our show. Look forward to having him back on again in the future. I'm excited to have all the other guests we have on coming this year. Super exciting stuff. And, you know, make sure to let your friends know about the awesome podcast that they may be missing out on. And they can listen to it on iTunes, Google Play Music. I guess we're still on Spotify. I don't really pay attention to that one. Definitely Podbean. And hopefully soon. Still haven't heard anything yet from, did I think we're still on Spotify, or did I say Stitcher?
I think you said Spotify.
I meant to
said
say
Spotify.
Stitcher. Okay. I believe we're still on Stitcher. I don't really know for sure. And I still have yet to hear from Spotify. But we're definitely on iTunes, Google Play Music, and Podbean. So there's no reason that your friends can't listen to this. You know, whether they have an iPhone, an Android, fucking Pixel, whatever. You could easily find our show.
The
And we're also on
Windows phone.
The Windows phone. We're probably Boost. I think Boost is still around. You could probably listen to us on a Boost phone. But Boost is a network, right? It's not really a phone, is it? Irregardless, as I would once say before. Fuck, I give up. No, I don't. I'm finishing this shit. All right. Find us on social media, This Freaking Show, at Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. Go to our website, thisfreakingshow.com, where you see a list of the guests we have on, all the recipients of the Follow Your Star Award, and, of course, a way for you to comment your concerns, questions, or even requests to be on our show. All right there on the website. So make sure you take advantage of that and everything. And as always, I am Travesty.
I'm Awkward Colin.
And I'm Geekcast Joe.
And thank you for listening to another episode of, you know what? Joey, you started the show. Why don't you go ahead and finish it?
And thank you for listening to another episode of This Freakin' Show. I'm out.